Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. And it's fair to say that it's been quite a moment since I did my last car review, but today we find ourselves inside the all-new BMW X6M competition. And big thanks to Christian Jakob at this point for providing me with this car and giving me the opportunity to take it for a drive today, because this is sort of a car that I've wanted to film for quite a while, but due to the global pandemic and everything, yeah, there was a substantial delay in this car arriving in Switzerland and everything. But today I finally got my hands on one of the first X6Ms here in Switzerland. And before we're gonna dive into this review, I just wanna highlight how good the color on this car is. You've probably seen it on the intro. The color is called Marina Bay Blue Metallic, and it looks absolutely incredible on this car. Now these are sort of my first meters cruising around here as well. And I really like the latest and greatest of BMW so far. It feels really comfortable, but this car with the competition package comes with the 4.4 liter twin turbo charged V8 that produces 625 horsepower. So that's an extra of 25 horsepower to the sort of standard X6M. And I mean, it does feel really nice so far. We're just driving gentle right now. We're in comfort mode, just getting to know the car. But the first thing you'll really want to notice is the overview. So you do have quite a good overview, but I really have to say I've driven a lot of cars of the X series, but this car is just so high above the ground. It feels massive on the road, even though it's a SUV coupe, sort of a crossover. Now the direct competitors to this, by the way, would be the Mercedes GLE 63 AMG Coupe, the Porsche Cayenne Coupe, or the Audi RS Q8. Just to give you a firm update, we got quite a bit of traffic here today. And we do have start-stop automatic, which I'm definitely gonna turn off right now. Now the most important thing when cruising around in a car like this, for me, is its sort of ability to drive in a sort of normal environment and then swap over to your sporty settings when you want to drive it a bit quicker. And right now I'm cruising around. We do have the M Sport suspension in this car, which is quite firm, and it's definitely, you do feel sort of the bumps, which in comparison to the standard BMW X6 you probably won't. But still, it's super smooth, really comfortable, and we also have an adaptive steering in this car. So we don't have four-wheel steer, which is sort of a downside. And the main reason why we don't have four-wheel steer on the X6M is because the rear tires are just too wide. But we do have active steering, which should improve the sort of ability and directness of the steering, and so far just cruising in comfort is really nice. I do like the steering a lot. It's just really direct and precise, which is cool, and I'm curious when we're gonna jump into sport in a second what's gonna happen. So we're finally getting to the road, and what we're now gonna do is we're gonna head over to your M mode. So you have set up an M mode buttons here. Let's go setup first, and then you sort of have all your settings that you can change when swapping driving mode. So you can change the engine to Sport Plus, suspension, steering, brakes, and you also on your gear leader here, you can even change your shifting times in 3 different modes. Now for the M cars, except the M2, we also have an M1 and an M2 button on your steering wheel. So this is a sort of quick selection button that you can press and you can configure on your own. And then the car changes into settings you have configured before. So this car has M1 on your most efficient settings for an M car, and M2 are the sporty settings. So we're gonna press twice to confirm it, and now we're in sport mode. We're even in Sport Plus. We do have traction control off right now, which I'm gonna put back in because I don't want to crash this car. And now this M comes to life. But let's leave this open. Let's give some downshifts. So we're in 2nd gear. Alright, so 3rd gear, 2nd gear here out of the corner. Okay, so it does really pull like crazy. I mean, we have 750 Newton meters of torque. From 0 to 100, this car should accelerate in only 3.7 seconds, which for a car that weighs 2.4 tons is actually incredible. But so the main reason why the throttle response is this quick for a turbocharged car is because the engine is organized, or the turbos are organized in a hot V. This means that there is less distance from your turbos to crazy. So this means there is less distance from the turbos to the engine or motor itself, and this helps the car to have a better throttle response overall. Alright, now the next topic we're going to talk about is the sound of this car. And for that, I'm going to slow down to 2nd, even 1st, and we're going to give it a pull. Now, it does sound really nice. I'm not gonna lie. It does sound really nice. We still have the V8 grumble that we want to hear. But obviously, due to stricter regulations in the EU, quick tunnel, we now have the obligation to have petrol particulate filters in our cars, which unfortunately kill most of the sound. So this is a bit of a downside, but it's not a downside because we can't really change it. So it is how it is. It still does sound really nice. I like the sound of it, but good God, it's so quick. So no cars around. I have to do a 0 to 100 acceleration. So we do have a launch control in this car. For that, you just press your stability control off, just kick the brake, push the throttle, and then it launches. Now I'm not gonna lie, that was so quick, especially from like 0 to 30, like the first gear pull. That was incredible. What? I think we should have time to do one more, just one. Foot on the brake, throttle. We're already at 100. What on earth? This is... I'm speechless right now. It's just sort of weird to drive a car that is this big and heavy and then it's so quick. just doesn't make sense in your head. But yeah, brilliant car, really cool. And also the agility, just driving these corners back there and also this corner back here. Obviously in sport, the steering gets a lot more stiffer and firm to drive as well. The stiffness of the chassis is quite impressive if we just have a look how big and bulky and heavy this is. But they have lots of extra bracing in the engine bay and around the car that help it to be as stiff as it feels, because when you're driving it doesn't really feel that big in your sporty settings, because it's so quick in corners and everything. You wouldn't really think of it as such a massive car. But obviously, which is different to other M cars, is that the X6M is a four-wheel drive M car, so a strict four-wheel drive. The new four-wheel drive system of BMW with the M cars, they are mostly changeable from four-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive, but for the X6M you only have four-wheel drive, which doesn't really make a lot of sense in my opinion, because it's sort of the same as with other M cars, the same engine and everything, but strict four-wheel drive with a bias to the rear wheels, of course, that you can change with your MX drive settings. You have four-wheel drive and you have four-wheel drive sport. Now just one last second gear pull before we're gonna stop over, and I'm gonna show you some of the interior and some of the exterior, but let's just get the window down again. We could even do first gear. Okay, so let's do it. Now giving you a tour of the exterior of the new X6M, and the first thing you'll really notice are the big kidneys, which are a big topic for BMW with the latest cars, and also what we're going to see with the new 4 Series that's going to come real soon. But for the competition, you get black kidneys as a standard, so that really stands out. We then have a revised front end in general compared to the standard X6. We then obviously have the BMW laser lights for the latest series, and then again I have to highlight it, the Marina Bay Blue metallic looks so good on this car. Then from the side here, one of the only things that I really don't like about the new styling in general are these air vents, because they're actually close behind it, so this is just for styling reasons and doesn't really have a function. And then we do have the characteristic aerodynamic rear mirrors here, where the air flows through on the side. These are in carbon fiber, so Christian Jakob really fully spec'd this car, which you'll see on the interior in a second. But now I think we should check out the back. Now I'm sorry if you can't really see all the details in the rear. It's literally midday right now and the sun is super bright and strong on the car right now. But the rear end of the new X6, I'm not entirely sure, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I do like the design of it, so especially the rear lights here that go around the edges. This car also comes with the carbon fiber spoiler, which was spec'd here. I do like these roof scoops here, which look really cool and help the air to sort of flow through the top spoiler here. We then have the quad tailpipes, which look cool, and they also have a proper size. The rear diffuser, I don't think this really has a function, but it does look cool and obviously helps the styling. Okay, now taking a look at the inside of the new X6, and this is one of my favorite parts about this car, because in my opinion the interior just looks spotless. It's so perfect. So first of all, we have the M-style steering wheel with the M-style stitching as well. We also have the M-style stitching on your seat belts, which is cool. We then have the red start button, we have the red M1 and M2 buttons, and just some red accents around your gear knob. So this is a gear knob that's just for the M cars, which is also really cool, where you can change your gear times. We then have M mode set up, and for the competition we also have an exhaust button, because the competition comes with an upgraded exhaust system as standard. Then Christian Jakob has fully spec'd this car with lots of carbon fiber on your dash here, on your center console we also have carbon fiber. We then have carbon fiber on the sides here. Then my favorite thing about this car are the seats. So the seats are incredibly comfortable and they're also super sporty. You have a lot of grip on the sides here with these panels. I really like the design. You can have them with a two-tone leather, so this car is just with the black leather and merino. Looks stunning. We have illuminated badge in here to make sure you know what car you're in, and then all the latest and greatest of BMW's iDrive. Fully digital screen here in the center where you can change in M mode, and it shows you, especially when you're on track, for example, it shows you just your main rev counter and speed, which is cool. You can also head over to track mode, which will turn off your infotainment system and will fully allow you to focus on your driving. We then also have Alcantara on the headlining, everywhere, it looks so cool, and the panorama roof. And this car here is also spec'd with some TV screens here for the rear seats. But other than that, we know the M-line cars, but really nice interior of the new X6. I really like it. Alright, and that is basically it for today's review of the BMW X6M competition. Let me know what you think of this car in the comment section down below. I really enjoyed driving it. I really like it, and I still have a couple hours with it, so I'm gonna continue driving it. But yeah, the last thing we wonder for today is what is the price tag of this car. So there are currently only 3 X6Ms for sale in Switzerland. This is one of them, and the spec price of this car was 217,000 Swiss francs, so more than 200,000 euros, but it's currently listed at around 180 to 190,000 Swiss francs. So you can check it out. Christian Jakob, I'll put the link down below. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's review. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel, would help me heaps. Turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you soon, guys.